could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, heard it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds, they can stay soft. You can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion.
What up, Fin fans? Welcome to another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C. How's everybody doing today? Good morning. This is brought to you by Game Changers Media, of course. How is everybody doing? Thank you for joining me for another episode. Good morning, Michael, Elwood, Cosa Nostra, Aqua. What up? Good morning. So there's an interesting, I don't know if you guys caught it or not. The dive bar, they had talked to Xavier Howard. Now, if you take a look at our cornerback room right now, it's pretty bare. Good morning, Bonnie. Our cornerback room is very bare right now. I mean, what do we really have? We have Jalen Ramsey. We released Fuller this offseason, which I think was a stupid move. Fuller played pretty decent for us last opinion. Yeah, did he deal with some injuries? Yeah. But why release him? I mean, if you're going to release him, if you want to upgrade or whatever, at least have someone in the building that is as good or better that can take his place. I just thought it was stupid for us to create another hole. You know what I mean? Why create another hole with a team that already had a bunch of holes? Why create another glaring need for this football team when we had already a bunch of glaring needs? No, now the guys at the dive bar did a fantastic job, and hopefully I get to work with them real soon. I've been in talks with a couple of the guys over there. They interviewed Xavier Howard the other day, and Xavier Howard said he left the team on good terms. He's open to a return in the NFL. And He said he's in shape. He said he's been working out. How would you feel about Xavier Howard being brought back, or at least brought back for a look? How would you feel about Xavier Howard being brought back in the building to at least take a look to see where he's at, to have a conversation, to see how much money it would take to bring Xavier Howard back? I'm guessing that his ego, after not signing with anybody last year, after seeing that the market for himself wasn't as great as probably what he thought it was, because the grass always looks greener on the other side. Let's be real. It always looks greener. These guys got this idea that once they hit free agency, everybody's going to want them and they're going to get this huge contract on the open market. And the fact that Xavier Howard went through the whole season unsigned. I mean, there was a couple rumblings throughout the season of teams possibly talking to Xavier, but I think he outpriced himself. I think he still thought that he deserves top corner money, and I don't think other teams see it that way. I don't think other teams see it that way. Now, Xavier Howard in 2022, he wasn't very good. But in 2023, he was all right. He ended up missing the end of the season due to a foot injury. But besides that, he played fairly well for us. But that was kind of the story of Xavier Howard's career, right? I mean, he'd have these phenomenal years, and then he'd have years that he'd take a step back. He'd have a phenomenal year, then have a year step back. You know what I mean? Steve, most people probably don't do this, brother, but or you can message me on X. But yeah, that sounds fantastic. Just get a hold of me. 5 years, 1 million. Michael says, how was X-Man in the locker room? I mean, I never heard of him really having a issue with anybody. Him and Jalen Ramsey seem to have gotten along really well. I mean, that's the people that you really gotta worry about is the top guys, the top names in the locker room not getting along because of the ego. But him and Jalen Ramsey, I mean, when Jalen Ramsey was traded here, Xavier met him at the airport and they went to a Heat game that night. You know what I mean? No, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. As far as what's left at cornerback, I mean, at corner right now, we got Jalen Ramsey. We got Cam Smith, who absolutely looks like he's going to be a bust. Absolutely looks like he's going to be a bust. We hear all this great stuff coming out of practices and out of training camp and stuff. Like Jalen Ramsey was really high on Cam Smith, and it was almost like Vic Fangio had a vendetta against him. You know what I mean? He was holding them back. Well, Vic wasn't here last year, and Cam Smith still wasn't good. Or Ethan Bonner. Oh, he'd be locking Jalen Waddle down. He'd be locking people down. He's so fast. He's so good. You seen anything from Ethan Bonner? I mean, we got Cater Co who in it as the nickel slot corner. He can't play outside though. We don't have very much as far as corners. We just don't got it. So that brings us to the draft. Now there's a couple guys still available in the open market. They're talking about Jair Alexander from Green Bay, maybe possibly trading from him. But he seems to have lost a step. He's going to be pricey. What up, JD the Great? Good morning to you, brother. So I think Alexander's going to be out of our price range considering every other contract that we've signed this offseason, we're obviously not spending money. We're obviously not spending money. So I got to believe that Jair Alexander is going to be out of our price range. JD DeGray says we need to draft the corner out of Texas. We're going to go over the top ones in this draft. I'm going to tell you why I don't think that we should draft the corner out of Texas. But listen, guy's great player. We're going to go over him. But I don't think he's the right fit for the Miami Dolphins. He's not the right fit for the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion. Yeah, like I said, you got a couple guys still available in free agency. You got Rasul Douglas, former Green Bay Packer, former Buffalo Bill. I think he's still available. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple that you could bring in. There's a couple that you could bring in. You know what I mean? Kosa Nush said, listen, listen, you can feel about how you want about TD, but he's been really good to me. You know what I mean? He's been really good to me. Matter of fact, he had hit me up to so keep an eye out. He had hit me up to fill in for him yesterday on the AFC East roundtable, Richie and Dan and Kobe. Maybe Wednesday I'll be doing it. So make sure you check that out. Keep a watch out. I might be on AFC East roundtable, kicking it with Dan and Richie, giving them a little piece of my mind, because sometimes I think they be ganging up on TD. Well, yeah, to each their own. You know what I mean? Like, TD's been good to me. If you don't like him, Coaster, I understand. Midget porn would be better. I agree, bro. I agree. I'm telling you, I don't like them weird looking midgets though. They just gotta be like little people, but you know what I mean? Yeah, we're gonna break down the top corners in this draft. People that listen, in my opinion, we're gonna break down the top 5, but in my opinion, I really think that there's only 3 corners that are truly worthy of a first round draft pick this year. I really do. Listen, I loved TD's my boy. He's helped me a great deal. You know what I mean? I'm not hate talking him. That's my brother. You know what I mean? I think there's only three corners that are really draft worthy to go in the first round, whether it's injuries or production or whatnot. But that's my opinion. I mean, you could see more. You know what I mean? It's like anything in life. You know what I mean? It's supply and demand. It's supply and demand. Yeah, TD's a funny guy. He's my boy. He's not everybody's cup of tea, just like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? I understand it. I get it. Listen, we can agree, disagree. It's cool. I'm not everybody don't like me. You know what I mean? I respect it. You know what I mean? I respect it. But TD's been great to me. TD's the first one that, this channel wouldn't even be. I mean, I'm not far along by any means. I'm not a big deal whatsoever, but my channel wouldn't even be near where it is right now without TD. My channel wouldn't be where it is right now without TD. So I have a lot of love for the guy. And like I said, he's probably going to have me fill in for the AFC East roundtable. That's a great opportunity for me. That's a huge opportunity for me. You know what I mean? I've been in this game for, 7 months now. And for me to be hosting a show that everybody on there's got so many, that's a great opportunity for me. And I appreciate it. And I can't ever give that back. Listen, I don't want to get into, you know what I mean? I don't want to get into it. That's my guy, you know what I mean? You guys can all have your feelings, but I'm not going to sit here and have a, you know what I mean? But you can, like I said, you can feel how you feel, but we're not going to sit here and have a TD Fins talk bashing. You know what I mean? I apologize for having him on the channel. You know what I mean? Again, Scotty, like, you know what I mean? I don't, it doesn't even matter to me if he's a Dolphins fan or if he's, you know what I mean? He's been good to me as a person. You know what I mean? It's bigger than football to me. It's bigger than football to me. He's been a good person to me. You know what I mean? And that means more to me whether he's a Cowboys fan, undercover Dolphin, you know what I mean? But let's get into some of these corners, shall we? Shall we? Let's do the do. Let's do the do. Let's do the do. Let's change this color up. The blue. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Let's see. It's the first corner, not number one. The first corner on my list of, we're gonna do 5 today. We're gonna do the top 5 today. Let's do the top 5 today. 5 today. 5 top corners today in this NFL draft. In this NFL draft. Number 5. Let's see. Boom. Trey Amos, Ole Miss. I got number 5. Trey Amos, Ole Miss. I got number 5. He's 6'1". Let me get my notes. 6'1". His superpower is his athleticism. He's an athletic freak. He's 6'1", 195. He ran the 40 in 4.43. So I mean, he's super fast. Big. He excels at man coverage. He has a grade rating of tackling 82%, run defense 84%, coverage 90%, zone 84%, and man press 86%. Notice that run defense at 84%. He is not someone that's just gonna. He's not just a corner that's gonna be out there covering. He'll come up and run support, which you gotta love that in a corner. You gotta love a corner that's willing to tackle. He's projected to go anywhere in the mid-second to early second. Again, you could see any one of these guys sneaking into the first. You can see any one of these guys sneaking into the first. It's supply and demand. Some of his strengths, he's a nasty press man, technician. You gotta love guys that have great technique. Pat Surtain, for instance. Pat Surtain for the Denver Broncos isn't the greatest athlete. He's not the fastest. He's not, you know what I mean? But Pat Surtain's got great technique, which led to a Defensive Player of the Year award this year. Great technique. He brings the kitchen sink to the line of scrimmage. He utilizes quick feet, violent hands to disrupt timing and dictate receiver releases. Listen, he's there to plug you off the line of scrimmage. He's there to throw off timing. You got to love that. He shows exceptional awareness in contested situation, using his length like a chef uses a kitchen knife. You know what I mean? To carve up the catch point and squeeze routes to the boundary. He's got explosive plant and drive ability, particularly against quick game where he closes throwing windows faster than a screen door in a hurricane. He brings serious juice as a tackler when he Using proper technique to tackle. Uses great hips to deliver good pop on contact. Got great recovery speed when he gets beat. He takes good angles on throws while the ball's in the air. He's got elite ball skills that show up consistently. He's pretty good at timing catches, so he's not jumping too early, jumping too late. He's almost like a veteran out there, the way he plays the ball in the air. Yeah, I mean, the guy, I draft Amos a lot in mock drafts that I do. I try to usually trade back up into the second round to grab Amos. But I think he could come in and be the second best corner on this team immediately. I really do. Some of his weaknesses, sometimes he can get too handsy down the field, which, the NFL don't play that. The NFL don't play you putting hands on their receivers. The NFL's all about scoring. They don't play that. So he's got to be careful of that. He's got to improve on that, or he's going to get a lot of flags. A lot of times, another weakness of his that I notice on tape is that he can get froze sometimes on double moves, especially when a quarterback uses his eyes to sell it. So he's got to improve on that. Tackling, while he's a willing tackler, when he sees bigger backs coming, he tends to back off. He maybe a little bit of business situations where he making business decisions. The bigger backs scare him off a little bit. Sometimes he gets caught flat-footed in zone coverage. Like I said, he's a man corner, a man press corner. He's going to have to get better at zone coverage. Everybody plays some kind of hybrid version. You know what I mean? So he's going to have to get better at that. But other than that, I really like Amos, especially where he could be drafted. I think he could be great for us. I'm not a big fan of taking a corner at 13, but as a second round guy, I would love it. Yeah, look at that man behind you playing. That's my pops, man. That's my dude. Glenn says, I'm having a feeling not many trades going to happen in the first round. First time in a long time that every team in their own pick in the first round. I don't know about that, Glenn. I don't know about that. We will see, Glenn, but I would like them to trade down a few picks. JD, I agree. I'd like to trade down to 20 to 23, somewhere in that range. Maybe pick up an extra second rounder, and that would be ideal for me because I think we could still get. I have my heart, JD. I don't know if you've tuned in, but I have my heart set on the trenches, and I have my heart set on Kenneth Grant, really, defensive tackle, Michigan. Can we get some likes up in here? We got 16 in the building. We just had 19. Can I have every one of you hit the like button for me, please? Get me in that algorithm. Yeah, Elwood, you know what it is. You know that fake spike thing. Ain't nothing but check wang fake spike. Often copied, never duplicated. You know what I mean? Mark Duper. I used to, or not Mark Duper. Mark Ingram. I used to love Mark Ingram. I ain't gonna lie. I used to love Mark Ingram. For a long time, he was my favorite Dolphins wide receiver, Mark Ingram. I mean, we had Irvin Fryer. I think OJ might have been on the team. He was younger if he was. But Mark Ingram was my guy. I was never super big on Irving Fryer, but Mark Ingram, I absolutely loved. Since we're talking corners today, who's your favorite Dolphin corner of all time? Mine might be a little bit surprising. I mean, of course, I love the answers that a lot of you guys are going to give. But who's your favorite corner of all time for the Miami Dolphins? Elwood likes Chris Chambers. Chris Chambers wasn't on that team though. Chris Chambers was a little bit older. I liked Chris Chambers too. I always felt like he was a real poor man's Randy Moss because he'd make some fantastic catches. Plus, they were both number 84. I was young though. I was young. Let me see up in the chat. Favorite Dolphins corner of all time. Elwood says Troy Vincent. That's a good name. That's a good name. I was devastated when he was traded to the Eagles. Come on, favorite corner of all time. Let's hit that like button. We got 16 likes. The first corner that we went over was Trey Amos. Corner, Ole Miss. Second on my list of corners that the Miami Dolphins could possibly. Of course, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't bring this guy over. Second on my list, we got Siobhan Revel Jr. ECU. Siobhan Revel Jr. ECU. Siobhan Revel Jr. ECU. Siobhan Revel Jr. Yeah, Sharon Revel Jr. He's number 4 on the list of my corners. Listen, Sharon Revel Jr. is a big boy. Big boy. He's 6'3", 194 pounds. Great length. He's an outside zone cornerback. He ran the 40 in 4.4, so he's a runner. He's got a tackling grade of 78, run defense of 77, coverage 88, zone 84, man press 85. He's projected to go anywhere late first to mid first. I see him as a late first, to be honest. Even Amos might jump him too. Some of his strength, he's got length for days, and he knows how to use it. Consistently disrupts passing lanes and bullies receivers at the line. He's got a mean streak that shows up on every play that he's up there playing press. He's got raw athleticism that jumps off the screen. That 4.4 40 time, that's not just a combine number, folks. This he is real life fast. He'll run stride for stride with damn near every receiver in the NFL. His transition game is butter smooth for a tall corner. He drops his hips and changes directions like someone that is 4 or 5 inches shorter than he is, which is super rare for such a tall defender. Most tall defenders can't change directions like this guy can. He's great on special teams. He's a he approaches special teams like a demon. His gunner duties, it's like he's shot out of a cannon. He blocks kicks. He's just absolutely phenomenal. His recovery speed is late, of course, or is elite, of course. Even when he loses a step, he's got that extra gear to close the gap, which is awesome. If a guy beats him on a move, the play's not over for this guy, and he's not giving up. He makes receivers uncomfortable at the catch point. His physical mentality shows up in run support. This guy is not content just to be a cover corner. He's not just content to be a cover corner. He wants to come up and make a hit. He'll come downhill and strike with bad intentions in the run game. Bad intentions. You gotta love it. His ball skills improved dramatically from 2022 to 2023. He started trusting his length more and his timing to make plays at the very apex of routes. Great football IQ. He has great recognition skills. That really improved once he started getting reps with the team. Showing a natural feel for route combinations. This guy is the truth. And to be honest, he should probably be a top 15 pick. He should be a top 15 pick, but for his weaknesses. He's only got 1 year of high-level production before, and this is the real kicker, the ACL injury suffered last year. He suffered an ACL last year. That's going to make teams nervous. It's going to make teams nervous no matter how physically gifted he is. He can get a little bit grabby when he loses leverage. His man coverage instincts are still developing. What it really comes down is to his medical evaluation. That's going to be so crucial for him. And listen, he's a ball hawk. He takes some unnecessary risks jumping routes. His aggression is mostly good, but I mean, it can lead the big plays for the opposing team. I love this kid a lot. It just comes down to what that evaluation is. Let's see. We got some more names on here. We got Troy Vincent. We got Sam Madison, Brent Grimes, Cap for Life, Terrell Buckley. Listen, Cap for Life, that is my guy, Terrell Buckley. That is my top corner. What round will he be drafted in? Are you talking about Revel? No, this guy isn't. I wouldn't take this guy in the 13th. This guy is late first round because of the ACL. And Mudbourne said, "Stop it, ACL injury, Grills gloving it." Nah, I mean, I could see late first. He might fall to the beginning of the second just because of the ACL. Just because of the ACL. Now, you know, to me, there's only one guy that you take at pick 13. If we're staying at pick 13, we might as well throw away the rest of this list and go to the very top. There's only one of these guys that are worth the 13th pick in the NFL draft. All the rest aren't worth it. All the rest of the players are not worth the 13th pick. If we're not trading back, then we got to throw this list straight away. I mean, nobody on this list. I know that we talked about Jahdae Barron, the corner from Texas. He's not it, folks. He is not the fit for this team. He's not the fit for this team. Not to say that he's not a great player. He's just not right for the Miami Dolphins. He's just not right for the Miami Dolphins. There's only one player that goes 13. We getting there, JD. We getting there, baby. We getting there, dog. Hit that like button. 18 in the building. Can I have 18 likes right now? Do I got 18 likes? Let's go. Number 3 on the list. Benjamin Morris, corner, Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish in the building. The Fighting Irish in the building. Benjamin Morris. Benjamin Morris. 6 foot, 193 pounds. Decent size, not great, not too small, not too big. Great speed. Like, this guy's a burner. 4.3940. Super fast. Super fast. Super fast. Can keep up with any receiver in the league. His grades: tackling 63, run defense 74, coverage 81, zone 78, man press 79. This guy's second round. I wouldn't go above that. So, I mean, I got these guys a little bit out of order, I guess. My bad. So Revel, I'd put Revel over him. I'd put Revel over Benjamin Morris. My fault. Shows exceptional processing speed when reading route combinations. Consistently jumps underneath routes before quarterbacks can hit their back foot. Great ball skills. Great ball skills. Quick feet. Possesses elite short area quickness that allows him to mirror receivers off the line of scrimmage. Go and watch the tape against USC. He did a masterful job in his technique with his technique was just off the charts. Go check out the USC game. He maintains outstanding leverage and press coverage using quick feet and fluid hips to stay in phase through stems and breaks. He's got elite and rare ball skills for the cornerback position. He tracks the ball like a receiver. He's got great natural hands when attacking the catch point. He will take the ball away. He will cause turnovers. Plays with a controlled aggression and zone coverage, baiting quarterbacks while maintaining positioning to break on throws. He wants you to throw in his direction. He's begging you to. Brings surprising pop as a tackler, despite his frame being on the smaller side. He shows no hesitation coming downhill against the run. He's got a great mind for football. He's got an advanced route recognition skills. He's super great against double moves. Double moves rarely beat this guy. He has the versatility to play both outside and slot positions, which that's always useful. He showed this consistently against spread offenses. And now for the weaknesses and why he's a second round pick. This is where I got these guys mixed up, is because as far as talent, I think this guy's number 3. Right above Revel. Revel is absolutely fantastic, and I fought back and forth with if both guys were healthy, who I'd choose. And I thought but the injury history is crazy. Rebel's coming off the ACL. This guy, he dealt with a crazy hip injury. Frame is slightly below ideal for an NFL boundary corner. He struggled at times against a little bit more physical receivers that could box him out. He can get a little overeager jumping routes sometimes. He get a little too ball hawky. He shows some difficulty disengaging from larger blockers. He's got to get stronger. And then you got that recent hip surgery. It raises durability concerns. Besides that, his injury history was pretty clean, but a hip injury for a corner is devastating. A hip injury for a corner is devastating. The way that a corner got to flip their hips constantly, listen, that can be huge for this guy. Occasionally he over relies on his athleticism. That leads him to recovery situations that are going to be more challenging against NFL elite talent. But as far as a ball hawking corner with great speed, another injured player, that's what we got at the top of the list. That's the most talented players. Listen, Elwood, I'm not saying we draft these guys. I'm staying far away from, depending on Revel and how he gets checked out by doctors. I'm not touching Morrison. That hip injury, it scares me off completely. JD, you like him in the 4th round? I mean, he's a first round talent without a doubt, but that hip injury for a corner, it scares the death out of me. I'm not picking these players. These are just the top 5 rated players in this draft. Strictly top 5 rated players in this draft. I can't touch them. I can't do it. I can't do the hip injury with the cornerback position. It just doesn't work for me. I need a more sure thing. I need my first round pick not to be a bust. I'm not going corner in the first round regardless. That's me. If you've been watching the channel, you know I ain't going corner in the first round. I want Kenneth Grant. If we get Kenneth Grant. Yes, sir. Kenneth Grant is my pick at 1. Unless Membu's there. If Membu's there, I'm probably taking Membu. But Kenneth Grant is my guy in the first round, no matter what. I'm trading back, though. No cornerback with lower body injuries. Yeah, I mean, listen, they do phenomenal things with ACLs, and I think Revel. I'm not taking Revel in the first. If you're coming off a major injury, I can't take you in the first round. I just can't. I don't know if you guys are in agreement with that, but I just can't do it. I can't take a corner that is coming off any player coming off a major injury in the first round. It doesn't make sense. There's too many great players that you can add to your team. That's a forced pick. It's a forced pick. Number 2 on the list, Jahdae Barron. Jahdae Barron. Listen, there's nothing against Jahdae Barron. He's just not the right corner for us, in my opinion. 5'11", 194 pounds. So right there, he's starting off undersized. He's undersized. Says his 40 was 4.39. I have to check that because I thought he wasn't that fast. Tackling grade 92, run defense 93, coverage 99, zone 89, man press 98. Those are great numbers. Those are great numbers. He's an elite processor who diagnoses route combinations in real time. If you watch him, it jumps off the screen. His release against Georgia, and you'll see a corner who knows what's coming before the receivers do. Brings a controlled violence as a tackler despite his size. Exceptional plant and drive ability that shows up repeatedly on film. He routinely beats receivers to the spot on underneath routes. He's got a physical press technique. He's got nasty route recognition. He's got plus grade ball skills that show up in contested situation. He tracks the deep ball naturally. And he plays bigger than his frame suggests. And he's a special teams ace, which brings you immediate value no matter what. Weaknesses, his build-up speed creates some concerns. After matching up outside, he has to respect vertical threats, which can leave him vulnerable to double moves. His frame limitations show up against bigger receivers, can struggle to disengage from physical blockers when working against bigger receivers on the perimeter. Shows some hip tightness when transitioning. Takes extra steps in his break. Can leave small windows against shifty route runners. Can get grabby at the top of routes and man coverage. Needs to trust his technique more. An aggressive mentality occasionally works against him. Will bite on misdirections and take false steps, and his recovery speed can't always mask it. My biggest thing with Jahdae Barron is that he's a nickel. He's a nickel corner. He's played outside corner 1 year. 1 year. He's more of a nickel slot corner. And we need a boundary corner. And I don't overly trust him on the boundary. I think he'd be a great player for us. Good morning, Dolphin Dan. Or Don. Dan. Don. I need glasses, I think. Yeah, I think he would be a great player for us. I just think that he's the wrong type of corner. He is more of a slot nickel corner, and we need a boundary corner. A boundary corner. We got Cater Kohu in the slot. And it's not like Cater can move out to the outside. The 1 year Cater played outside, he got cooked. He got cooked. He got absolutely demolished on the outside. So, I mean, unless you're drafting this guy doesn't fill a hole, you can move on from Cater and play him in the slot, and that's an upgrade. But then we still need an outside corner. And I think, the guy's going to go high. Because slot corner, nickel corner, it's still a high priority. It's still a big need for teams. So this guy's going to still go super high in the draft. He's still going to go super high in the draft. I don't see him getting out of the 20s. So I just don't think that you spend that type of draft capital on a position that's not a position of need. And definitely, in my opinion, not a nickel corner is not worth the 13th pick in the draft. wouldn't say that cornerback. The only cornerback worth taking is Hunter. He will never fall to us. I agree. Travis Hunter's not falling to us, folks. Travis Hunter's not falling to us. But I wouldn't go as far to say that Travis Hunter is the only corner that is worthy of a top 13 pick, because my boy Will Johnson is filthy McNasty. He's filthy McNasty, folks. Will Johnson is filthy McNasty. Lots of people will argue whether there's an argument to be made who's the better corner between him and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is the better football player, obviously. He plays both sides, so he gets a little bonus boost because of that. But listen, there's an argument there. There is a legit argument who's the better corner. And maybe Travis Hunter does edge him out, but it's not by a large margin. It's not by a large margin. Will Johnson, 6'2", 194. Fantastic size, fantastic length, phenomenal. 40. He runs like the wind, 4.39. She's like the wind. Patrick Swayze, baby. What? His grades: tackling 62, run defense 79, coverage 85, zone 75, man press 82. Draft projection, first round, possibly top 5. Will Johnson's got a rare blend of size and fluidity. He maintains his back pedal integrity against shifty receivers while using his 6'2" frame to bully smaller wideouts at the line. Listen, if you go and you try to watch Will Johnson on tape, it can get boring. I'm not going to lie, it can get boring. If you sit down and watch a Michigan game and try to watch Will Johnson, it can get boring because quarterbacks don't test him. Quarterbacks are not willing to test him. Will Johnson's got a super high floor, which equals out to a top draft pick because there's less risk of being a bust. He's got great instincts. Elite football IQ shows up in zone coverage, anticipates route combination, and jumps underneath throws with veteran savvy beyond his years. He's got a nasty competitive streak in press coverage, uses his length to disrupt timing, and shows some real dog when fighting through blocks. Exceptional ball skills. When you talk about a ball hawk, you're talking about this guy. Game-changing plays. He makes game-changing plays. If you throw towards the guy, he can make you pay. He showed up huge in the biggest moments with pick sixes against USC and championship game interception. He's a patient technician in man coverage who trusts his technique, rarely bites on double moves, stays square through stem phases on routes. He brings a running back physicality to tackling. He steps downhill with bad intentions and consistently wraps up with proper form. He's got a special awareness near the boundary. He uses the sideline as an extra defender. He uses the sideline like it's a safety. He'll push you to the outside. He shows natural feel for leveraging receivers out of bounds. He takes receivers straight out the play. He's scheme versatile. He's a difference maker. He thrived in both press man and zone looks. He is a day one starter in any defensive system. This guy, he's the real deal. He's the real deal. If you're looking corner and you have your heart set on corner at pick 13, this is your guy. He can get a little grabby downfield when beaten. He needs to trust his recovery speed. The guy's super fast. He needs to trust it. He occasionally gets caught peeking in the backfield looking for picks. You're going to get that from a ball hawk. He's going to gamble. His change of direction ability doesn't match straight line speed. He's got a little bit of stiffness. His missed tackle rate ticked up as a junior. Tends to drop his head and lunge rather than breaking down in space. Just taking his eye off the ball. He can improve that. He can get better. His press technique needs a little redefinement. He relies a lot on his athleticism. Then his constant hand jamming. Hand placement on jamming. But this is the guy. This is the guy. If you're talking corner at pick 13, this is your guy, Will Johnson. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is the only corner on this list that is worthy of the number 13 pick in the NFL draft. The only corner on this list worthy of the 13th pick in the NFL draft. And we're not talking Travis Hunter because Travis Hunter is going to be gone. Bonnie says she wants Will Johnson so bad. Listen, I'd love to have the kid. He's a mix. If I had to do a pro comp for him, this is the pro comp I have. He's got some Patrick Surtain and Jair Alexander mixed up in a blender. And that's a pretty good corner. That's a pretty phenomenal corner. I love Johnson. I really do. I love him. I think he'd be phenomenal for us. I just can't. You're not talking me out of the trenches. You're not talking me out the trenches. I'm going to live and die by it this year. And you know what? You guys might get your wish with Will Johnson at 13. You might get your wish because you know how Chris Greer does. You know how Chris Greer gives it up. Chris Greer likes his corners. He does. And I can't say that I'll be mad at Will Johnson. It's just, again, I sound like a broken record. The Philadelphia Eagles show us what a strong defensive line, a strong offensive line can do for a team. Listen, Nick Emilwari is a great player. Don't get me wrong. But Nick Emilwari is he has no versatility. He is strictly a strong safety, and that is who he is. You know what I mean? Bonnie, I think that we can trade back, get Grant, and get an extra second round pick. They can help us get a top corner. And are they going to be Will Johnson? No. They're not going to be Will Johnson. Obviously. There's only one Will Johnson in this draft. I mean, there's only one Travis Hunter in this draft. I like Nick Emilwari, and I would be happy if we could trade back up and grab Nick Emilwari. If you told me our first two picks were Nick Emilwari and Kenneth Grant, I'd be elated. I'd be very happy. I'd be super happy. I just don't think you can take Nick Emilwari over Will Johnson or Kenneth Grant or Membu. I don't see it. The Miami Dolphins have a lot of options on the table. We just got to hope that Chris Greer doesn't mess things up. And that's a big hope. That's a big hope. Yeah, JD the Great. I think that's how we can win this draft by trading back and getting an extra pick. I really do. I think that's how we win this draft. If we can pick up an extra second in such a deep draft, I think Chris Greer's got to be on the phone constantly. Constantly got to be on the phone trying to wheel and deal. You got to try to trade back in the first round, pick up an extra second. And then you got to try to use your second round pick at 48 and put some more draft capital with it to try to move back up to the top of the second round. If we can get back to the top of the second round with pick 48 and then whatever pick we gained in the trade, we need 2 more likes to get to 20 before the end of this show. Can we get them, please? Glenn says he doesn't think many teams are going to be trading. Well, Glenn, teams are always willing to trade up. You know what I mean? And there's always teams willing to trade down. You're going to see teams are going to see players that they have first round grades on fall off the board, players in need fall off the board, and they're going to want to have to move out them spots. So we shall see. We shall see. Let's hit them like buttons for me, please. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to do another round of corners tomorrow. We're going to break down as many corners as we can get so we can see what it looks like. Because if we don't go Will Johnson, I don't think we get another opportunity for corner till the mid-second round. And I'm not sure we go corner there neither. If we don't go corner in the first, where do we take a corner at? JJ McCarthy said the Vikings have not told him he'll be the team's starting quarterback in 2025. I think a move back and then up again is a waste of resources personally. If we trade back, take the extra pick, in my opinion. I just think that some of the talent that's available at the top of the second is worth it. I think the talent at the top of the second round, Scotty, is something that you can't sit there and watch it all fall off the board. You can't watch all that talent fall off the board and not do nothing about it. You're going to watch Malachi Starks fall off the board. You're going to watch Nick Emilwari come off the board. You're going to watch all these great players that can be franchise changing players for us come off the board. And we're just going to sit. We're just going to sit there. I'm not with it. I think you trade back up. I really do. I'm not sitting there and taking Winston from Penn State at the safety position where I could trade back up and get Malachi Starks. I mean, we got 10 picks in this draft. Package some of those late round picks together and move up. What we keep in the late round picks for what? Practice squad players, roster fillers, special teams. Use those picks to get back up in that second round and get a real game changer instead of letting the average player fall to us. I appreciate that, Frozen Fin fan. I'm not drafting any of these players, of those guys you named, for 2 seconds. Learn from Eichenberg. You're not taking Emilwari. First off, I didn't say 2 second rounders. I don't want us to trade both our second rounders. No. I'm saying our 1 second rounder and some other picks to move up to the top of the second round. I'm not trading 2 second rounders to move up to the top of the second round. No, not for 2 second rounders. Hell no. If that's what you thought, then I understand why you're not on board with that. I'm not trading. No, I'm keeping one of them seconds. I'm talking about trading our pick 48. We keep the second rounder we gain trading down. We take pick 48 and So maybe a fifth next year, a sixth this year, and a seventh this year, and try to get up to the second round, top of the second. Obviously, you need more than just a 6th-round pick, but we're not moving up that many slots. I mean, look at the point value chart. I'm just saying what I'd like to see do. I've done a lot of mock drafts, so I know mock drafts are, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just feel like the difference between the players at the top of the second round and the players you're going to get at pick 48, there's a huge fall off. No, I'm not. I'm because there's a lot of exciting talent in this draft. And I'm strictly looking at this year. If I got to trade even a 4th next year to move up, and a 4th next year, a 6th this year, and a 7th this year, we got 10 picks this year. A 4th next year, a 6th this year, a 7th this year, and our pick at number 42, our 48 to move up to the top of the second. If we can get something done like that. No, Glenn, we're gonna give them our second this year, but in the trade down for Grant, in my perfect scenario, we're at 13. We trade back to 20, 21, 22, 23, somewhere in that range. We gain an extra second rounder. So now we got 2 second-round picks plus Grant. We drafted Grant in the first round. We got 2 second-round picks, and we drafted Grant in the first. I'm taking one of our second-round picks, a 4th rounder next year, a 6th rounder this year, a 7th rounder this year, and moving up to the top of the second round with one of our second-round picks. You know what I mean? That way we still got 1 second-round pick. Then hopefully we have another high second-round pick. So we still got 2 second-round picks. There's no way I'm trying to. I mean, if we're giving a second-round pick this year for a second-round pick this year, I mean the point value for picks drops dramatically after the first round. You know, maybe it's not possible. Maybe it's not. I'm just telling you, my perfect world. That's what I'd like to see happen. Maybe it can't happen. Maybe it's not super realistic. But if there's an opportunity for us to trade back up at the beginning of the second and not cost us an arm and a leg, if he can fadoozle somebody, I'm with it. And that's what I'd like to see happen. Because I really think that there's some elite talent that's going to fall to the beginning of the second round. We see it every year. We see elite talent fall to the beginning of the second round, and I don't want to miss out on it. That elite talent's going to be gone by 48. Is there going to be a lot of good players still? Absolutely. But elite players that maybe should have been first rounders that fell to the second, I need those. I need those on the Dolphins team. I need those. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to break down the second wave cornerbacks, and then we'll hit the safety position, and then what shall we do after that? Corner, safety, maybe linebacker. Well, the linebacker room's pretty good. We'll see. We'll check it out. We'll figure it out. I do want to hit another mock draft before the end of the week. Maybe we'll hit that Friday. I'd really like to give this jersey away, but we're not grabbing any new subscribers. Scotty says, I hope Greer is blocked from trading away any next year picks. He might very well be. Obviously, Stephen Ross has a a key on the wallet, a passcode that Chris Greer doesn't have access to. But who knows? Who knows? The draft is getting closer and closer. Again, there'll be another wave of free agency. Hopefully, Calais Campbell lets us know something before the draft. I'm hoping. Hopefully, the Dolphins decide to bring Xavier Howard in for a look. I'm hoping that happens. But who knows? Who knows? It'd make too much sense to bring him in and see, what he's looking like, how much it would cost. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not give the guy a call? What could it hurt? What can a conversation and a tryout hurt? But you know how that goes. But I'm going to cut this one a little short today. I appreciate you all following through. Make sure you hit that like button for me. It helps me get into a different algorithm. I know these videos become a little stagnant. I still don't know. I'd love to be able to show you guys videos of these players' plays, but I don't know how to do it without getting copyrighted. Every time I do something, I get copyright. But I'd love to be able to show you plays from each of these players. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a lot more work for me, but I'm willing to put the work in for you guys. I just think it would make for a more interesting video. These videos get a little tedious, a little, sound like I don't know, you're listening to a textbook. I know it's probably not great for the ears. You know what I mean? I know it's probably not great on your ears. You need to VPN from a different country. Yeah, Scotty. I don't know how to do no shit like that. I don't even know what that is. But yeah, I know it. Listen, when real football gets here, it's gonna be live. It's gonna be animated. It's gonna be a fun time. It's gonna be a good time. It's. Oh, thanks, JD. It's tough on your ears. I'm sorry I hurt your ears. Yeah, the content will get more exciting and more easy to listen to, but especially, I'm telling you, I'm warning you, when football goes on and it's not going the right way, I got a potty mouth. You're liable to see me put my hand through that TV back there. You're like, Big C, no. I'll punch the shit out of that TV. Them Dolphins get on listen, they hurt my heart, man. Them Miami Dolphins hurt my heart, and I'll be exploding. You think TD be animated, man? You think TD be animated? Whoa. I'll be going nuts sometimes. But all right, yeah, make sure you hit the like button for the kid. I appreciate every single one of you. I love every one of you. We'll be back tomorrow drafting down some corners that we can possibly get later in the draft. There's got to be some, right? There's got to be some corners we can get later in this draft. But until next time, you know what it is. Fins up 100 all day, every day. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. And we'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And make sure you keep an eye out for me on the AFC East Roundtable. I've been waiting to give it to Richie and Dan. They be tagging up on TD and coming up against the Dolphins like it's a Bills and Jets orgy party. I ain't having it. So until next time, I love y'all. Peace.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and
Expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they're scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing